Welcome to the Next Up YouTube, and the day is finally here. Pixel 6 launch date. So for a number of us, we've been waiting for months for the Pixel 6. And, we've been excited, for this phone for a while. And I think it's because we finally feel like we may have a phone that really can compete with the big boys. And you can feel that excitement from Google as well. Like, they finally feel like they have a phone that people will get excited about. And when you see the specs on this thing, it really feels like it can compete with the big boys. Some of the issues I had with past Pixel launches was the fact that when you got this phone, especially when we looked at the specs compared to the competition out there, especially in the Android market, it felt like it was a little missing. Like, I've said it before, like Google's been stingy with the specs. And this time, it do not feel like they're stingy with it. It's like they really came to play. And I'm excited, to see a Pixel with 12 gigabytes of RAM launch date. It's like, wow. It's like they finally listened to the customers. And it's like, I can't wait to grab it. Now, this video is not going to be going down all the specs. Why? Well, because there's a number of other YouTube channels that is going to do that. They're going to do unboxings. And quite frankly, I don't have a phone to unbox. Like you, I'm just a fan. I'm waiting for it to be launched. And I'm just kind of just letting you know my excitement for the phone and really launch day in general. So here are my thoughts on how Google has handled launch day. And I felt like they really did a good job, at least launching the phone. Now, I do have an issue that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes, but I do like that when I look at the specs and I look at the display and some of the things that I'm seeing, at least on video, it looks like it's a phone that, man, when you go to the store and you see it up against a Samsung and an iPhone, you feel like I'm willing to pick this phone up and I can feel like I am getting a good deal, especially when you look at the price. And when compared to these $1,000 smartphones, to see Google launch a phone that really feels like a true flagship at a cheaper price, it is so reminiscent of the Nexus phones of past. And what made us excited for Google phones, at least for Google fans. Now, the question has to be, where are they cutting corners? Because if you're going to charge less than what the other guys are charging, you have to wonder if Google cutting corners somewhere. And I personally hope that is not the case. I hope that is not something we're having to worry about. We'll find out. I think once, people get their hands on a phone truly, and test out the Tensor chip against the competition and see how well it handles as far as performance, we'll see if that Tensor chip that Google has been boasting is something that really stands out and can compete with the competition. As well as we got to wonder if the quality of the device, in other words, are we going to see that the display is cheap? Is the battery an issue? Is the camera a problem? We know as far as cameras, at least in the past, Google have done a very good job, at least on the software side, being able to take the same camera they've been using for years now and still making it where it was better than the competition. So I have no doubt that we're going to get a good camera, at least from Google. Now, this is where I will say that Google still needs to do a better job with launching a phone, and that's for pre-orders. Now, even though this is the most anticipated Pixel phone in years, I don't think there's as many people in line for the Pixel phone as there is the iPhone. And I do not remember seeing any issues from Apple fans being able to pre-order a phone if they wanted to. Now, for those that do pre-order. Now, obviously, with Apple phone, because of how popular they are, there are times you really don't need a pre-order. You just wait till launch day, and you will have no issue picking one up, whether you go to Best Buy to get one, the carrier store, or whatever. For the most part, you're able to get your phone. Now, I'm not going to say there haven't been certain phones that have sold out. There's clearly been issues where a popular phone, whether it be a popular color or whatever, may have sold out. But if you really want an iPhone, it's not hard to get one. And some may argue, well, you can say the same thing for a Pixel right now. If you really want a Pixel, you can get a Pixel. You may not get the color you want, but you can get one. But, can you really? I've tried just playing around on the Google store to see multiple Pixel phones to see that I can get them pre-ordered. And for hours now, I have been unable to. You know, I'll get a phone, it'll show in my cart, and you'll keep getting this message like a R013 or 013 or another message. And then later you see that the device has been removed from your cart because it's out of stock. Now, as frustrating as I can see this being for those who have been waiting for this phone, they want to pre-order it because they want to make sure they get it on day one. If history has been an indication of anything, those having to wait end up coming out on top. Now I'm hoping this don't be the case with the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro. But, you know, from phones past, you know, I remember the Nexus 6 had issues with the glue debonding, and as a result, the back plate was coming off. I remember the Nexus 5 had issues with the speaker. I think the glue in the speaker was an issue as well. So, look, phones in the past, we've seen issues where on launch day or it seemed like the first batch of phones end up having some issues, and those who got the first batch are now trying to get the phone back to Google. They're frustrated because, you know, it's taking a while to get the phone, their other phone back to them, and it's like, man, it's like they're back in limbo. So it seems like at times it's best to wait, because about the time you get your phone back, had you been one of those who have experienced issues, it's like, man, had I waited maybe a week or two, I could have caught on a Black Friday deal and get something else with it. And that's maybe something that may end up being the best option for those who are wanting a Pixel, but like, man, you know what? I'm trying to buy it. The pre-orders are not available. I might just wait and just see what Black Friday deal I can get and see what Google's willing to throw in with the phone, you know. We've seen in the past they've been willing to throw in cases, chargers, and, you know, given the fact that this phone will not have a charger in the box, a problem that I've, you know, already complained about in the past video. But, you know, if you wait and Google say, look, you know, for those who decided to catch on a Black Friday deal, we're going to throw a charger in there and a wireless charger, would it been better to have waited and got that deal, or been one of the first ones who had the phone just to say, I was first? And that's going to be something that you're going to have to decide for yourself. Though, that said, I do think that if Google is needed to approve something, they need to improve their opening day launch pre-orders, because I feel like they do open themselves up for a possibility of losing out on customers. You know, if someone is trying to buy a phone on day one and they are unable to pre-order it and they get frustrated, they may just say, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm going to go look and see what the competition have. Now, that can very well be the case where, you know, those people that were going to move on would have moved on anyway. But, you know, it'd be interesting to see if this is something that they can improve in the future where their store is able to handle it. Now, you also have other options out there. And I am curious to see if the brick and mortar, somewhere like a Best Buy, can handle that purchase or can handle the Pixel 6. And what I mean by that is, you know, a lot of times when I go to Best Buy and I look to buy through them, I don't get the same options that I get through the Google store. You know, I may get a certain color option at a certain, let's say, gigabyte specs, but not the full spec'd out version. And I find myself, if I want the full spec'd out version, I gotta wait for it to come available again on a Google store. And that's one of the things where, okay, you know, for some people, they may say, you know, I'm willing to go with a lesser option to get the phone now. And those who are willing to wait wind up finding themselves able to get the best option at the better deal. And I'm just curious, when it comes time to buy, if we're going to have more options at Best Buy. Because for me, if that ended up being the case, if I can buy the phone at a brick and mortar, I'm probably going to want to do that anyway. Now, not so much a carrier device. I'm always prefer an unlocked phone. And again, if you want to know why, there's videos I made in the past about why I feel unlocked phones are better. But I am going to buy an unlocked phone. And if they can provide me the Storm Black version 512 that's unlocked, yeah, I'll buy it through Best Buy before I buy it through Google. Mainly because, again, if I have an issue, I like the idea of being able to go to a brick and mortar and handle the phone and say, okay, this phone got an issue, you got another one in stock, good. Let's swap it out and I'm done with it. I don't have to deal with shipping the phone back, wait for them to get it, and then to get a new one in a couple of days, trying to chase the FedEx man and see if, I could catch him and get my phone. So, yeah, I'm just kind of curious, you guys. But Pixel 6 launch day is here. And, the phone we've been anticipated is available for pre-order for those that can get a pre-order, but it'll be available soon in stores. And, is this phone worth being excited about? Do you feel like this truly is the Pixel phone that is able to really signify what we have envisioned when Google launched the Pixel back in the day? And for those who have been able to pre-order their phones, congrats. And for those who, like me, have been unable to pre-order, are you feeling like you missing out? Or are you like, hey, look, I'm going to wait until Black Friday and see if I can get a better deal? Anyway, post your comments below. I'm kind of curious, Pixel fans, your thoughts on launch day. Funny, I had just finished hitting record where I was talking about my thoughts on the Pixel 6 launch. And one of the things that I complained about, Google was, making it hard to buy a phone on launch day, especially if you were trying to pre-order it. And what do you know, the moment I, finished recording and was about to get ready to edit it, I just tried for one last time, just for giggles, just to see if I can do it, and I was able to order it. Now, I'm kind of curious because Google did say that they was having a problem with their website. Now, I get that on launch day, you knew it was coming. You knew with all these people being excited for the phone, you should have been ready. And to not been ready is, again, a problem that Google have had in the past. But if they was able to truly fix the problem where people are now able to pre-order if they want to, then it may very well be the case of, it's not that they didn't have everything ready. It just, they probably just had a software glitch that just came at the wrong time. Now, I was able to finally get an order at around 1600 Eastern time. So I'm kind of curious for those of you guys who were trying to pre-order, who was having issues, did it resolve for you after that time? Or are you still having a problem ordering your phone? Because I very well could have got lucky where I just happened to caught it just right. And, where people are still having problems being able to pre-order their phone. So if that is still the case, then yeah, I think Google definitely need to do a better job with providing a way to allow people to pre-order phones without having this issue where the website's glitching, especially out of all companies, Google, who should be ready for this. That said, if they did resolve it and it's not a problem, then, going forward, then I have to say, okay, my bad, Google, you finally did get everything ready. You was ready and you was ready to handle it, and kudos to you. And if that is the case, then maybe you guys truly found a way to turn things around, and we may indeed have a company, at least those of us who are Google fans, the pure Pixel fans, we finally may have a Pixel and a company, that is willing to stand behind their phone and put out a smartphone that not only can go toe-to-toe with the big boys, but, man, they can handle the orders, and they're ready to go big time. Something that we was hoping for back when they launched the first Pixel. But, hey, better late than never. Let's say that again. Better late than never. Anyway, had to add this addition. I'm out.